Good was good, ladies and gentlemen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that share button, subscribe to the channel, and also come shop with me in my store, right in the link in the description. But let's talk about it, man. I was seeing this post the other day, man. I was listening to this podcast, and I was just thinking to myself, man, the mental makeup of a man and the pressures that's put on most men in the communities, man. And I always feel this way, man. Growing up, you know what I mean? I felt like as a man, you was taught not to show your emotions. You were taught not to effectively communicate about your problems. You're supposed to just deal with it. And I think that's the reason why we having so many people taking their lives or losing their mind is because as men, we was taught not to communicate about problems or situations. I feel like it's very, very dangerous. And I feel like in the long run, you self-destruct. You know what I mean? Especially with the pressures that have been put on different men within the environment, financially, and different aspects of life. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't even be your true self because it's not accepted by the community around you. And then you begin to hide who you really are to the world. You know what I mean? It's nothing better than being in your purpose and doing what you love to do. It's such a special thing about you. When you connect with people, it's by being your true self. And what you see is a lot of people following structure of something that they're not. And then they begin to self-destruct because you are not the person that the society or the people around you in the community is trying to make you to be. You know what I mean? I've seen that a lot in my life. All the depressions and things that I went through and stuff like that, I would always reflect back and say, dang, I always felt like I really ain't had this person to talk to, or I really ain't had that person to talk to, or I felt uncomfortable talking to people because sometimes in the world we feel like nobody cares. As men, we was taught that nobody cares about your problem. Nobody cares of what you're going through. You know what I mean? Shut up, deal with it. You know what I mean? That's why we seeing so many people taking their lives or losing their mind or going to substances like drugs and things of that nature. And they sign to self-destruct. You know what I mean? The more you read the word, the more you build your mind and learning different things, you start to see that it's all the plan of the enemy. You know what I mean? To get you to drift and lose your mind and lose your purpose and to begin to use drugs, alcohol, and things to fill that gap of just a natural connection with a human being that understands where you're coming from. See, and that's where I always fell short at. I never really had a person that could really understand me on the level that I was talking. Like I said, I got good friends that I talk to and they can relate to some things, but I didn't share with them because I was so used to the community not understanding what I was truly trying to say to the people. You know what I mean? Or really trying to reach out to the people. Not being a nasty individual or nothing like that, but inside you hurt. You know what I mean? You feel pain. You got goals. You got things you're trying to do. But sometimes the world around you can collapse so much that you start to lose your purpose. You start to lose your identity. And when you start to lose your purpose and your identity, the devil got control of your mind. And then you self-destruct. And we know what happened with people when they self-destruct. You know what I mean? They're no longer here anymore. And everybody crying about it. You know what I mean? That's why I always say this, man. In life, you know what I mean? As a man, as you develop, we got to understand that communication is a good thing. It's not a weak thing. Crying, whatever you got to do, amongst your brethren and you talk to your homies about what's real, it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? You got to be able to have those effective conversations to be able to grow and to get better. And I feel like a lot of times in life, especially men in the community, they'll get in a relationship with a woman that don't like this friend, don't like that friend, and they turn you away from the people that gave you that therapy or that, you know what I'm saying, that person that really changed the way you thought and gave you a better look. I had good friends like that, good family like that. You know what I mean? My close, you know what I mean, my cousin Trey. I remember in times where I was in a deep depression and stuff like that, and I would go to Trey, and he would just be talking regular conversation, and he made the world feel normal to me again. Whereas I felt like the world was collapsing around me, and it was no way out of this, no way out of that. This small conversation made me feel like the world was just normal. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was going into a dark place because I was losing myself, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to fit into a crowd that didn't fit me, you know what I mean? Or a community that didn't fit me. And when I would talk to him, he would give me that. And my friend Dre too, family, you know what I'm saying? Talk to him. When he talked to me, he gave me different perceptions of the society and world around me. So it's always good to have people like that within your brotherhood. And I feel like sometimes you could be in a relationship or a situation that'll tear you away from your connection of healing. And I think no man should ever leave the friends, the people that you come around, because it can tear you down mentally, physically, and emotionally, because those connections is what makes you who you are. You know what I mean? I ain't saying be around people that's going to do this and do that put you in a negative concept. I'm talking about just the brotherhood of communication and having a effective relationship. You know what I mean? So that I would say the mindset of a man nowadays is nobody cares, have nobody ready to communicate about these situations. So I'm going to die slowly. You know what I mean? Because stress and depression and stuff like that, that can wear on your mind, that can wear on your body. You know what I mean? You can't really effectively get money or have success if you're always stressed out. If you're in a relationship with an individual or a female or whatever the case may be, and y'all fussing on a consistent basis, that can't help you in the long run. You're tired, you're mentally broken. It's just too much going on at times. Got to let that joint go because it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? So like I said, when I was seeing it, I was like, man, that was a dope conversation, because I feel like the mindset of a lot of people is being torn down with trying to fit into situations that don't fit them, or they going into things that's not their purpose. You know what I mean? Life is about following your purpose. Life is about creating the reality and the things that you desire. You got to sometimes think about self. And as men, they always tell us think about everybody else before self. And that's a damaging thing, because you giving all your energy to everybody else and nobody giving you energy back. Ain't nobody pouring that love and pouring those things back into you. They only taking. You know what I mean? And like I say, I've seen a lot of bad relationships like that with different people where they ain't even got to be financially. They're just taking energy. They don't really pour energy back to you. They don't give you conversations where it's like, let me build you up. Let me give you strength in your weakest moments. And I think we need that in the community, man. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on like that. I mean, I think being in a situation where everybody had to be home and be around family and friends and really see personalities and stuff like that, you seen the rate of just so many domestic situations started to happen when everybody was around each other. The truth be told, man, I always say, do those people really love you? Do those really people really care about you? Or are you in a situation where things just moving and there's really no love there? Family, friends, it could be it all. You know what I'm saying? People sometimes do what's beneficial to themselves. You know what I mean? And it's not really in the true pure heart of love. You know what I mean? When you're not in the true pure heart of love, you're losing the greatness that makes you human. You know what I mean? That good communication. And like I said, I like to talk to different individuals, like to reach out to individuals, and I like to share and bring a positive message and bring positive love. But like I always tell you, the mindset of the person is already ruined. So even when you start to communicate, they can't effectively take your love because they're so used to negativity. You know what I mean? And I understand it. You know what I mean? I grew up around it. I've seen how, I always say this, right? They always say me being a good person, me having a good heart is probably one of the weakest things about myself, but I always felt like it was the strongest thing about myself, because I'd be willing to forgive a person and listen to what they got to say and hear their perspective on it. I'm not the one that bash you because of your situation. I'm the one that learn and figure out how we both can come on the same side of the table and understand each other on a deeper level. And that's what it's all about. It's about connection. It's about love. It's about understanding family, understanding friends, understanding that we all have pains and problems in the community. I just feel like they listen more to the women problems and situations, but it be man problems that's going on that's being ignored. And then we got guys losing their brain, they losing their mind, and they doing stuff to themselves because nobody's willing to listen. Nobody's willing to give that positive energy to heal. It's none of that. Just think about somebody that go to jail. Maybe they done something wrong and they feel bad about what they done. And they had a life of a lot of trauma situations that put them in that predicament. Now they're looking for people to give them that energy like, bro, you did this, you doing your time. When you come home, let's rebuild in a positive concept, and let's understand that it is a better way than how you used to do. You know what I mean? But you'll have the environment that'll soak you into a place of negativity. and to drive you into a place where you go back to the place that you didn't like in the first place. When it was all about you needing to heal from your past situations as a kid. That's it. I see a lot of people in and out of jail. Their parents was in and out of jail. My parent was in and out of jail. My father, you know what I mean? So I understand those concepts. That's why I always say, when I look at the Bible, or I read these different books and things of that nature, and I've always looked at it from a standpoint of you have to grow mentally, physically, and emotionally, and you got to learn how to effectively communicate to people. Well, not only will you help yourself heal, but help the people in the community that's going through these situations heal. Because sometimes the biggest mistake a person can have is never having that conversation. Because in the dark, you're dealing with these demons, and those demons consume you because you don't know how to fight the battle. But just say you come to me or you come to a person, they be like, bro, this is how you do this and that. And they give you so much wisdom off of that conversation that you was afraid to have. And you not only healed yourself, y'all both bounce positive energy off each other. And y'all be able to move from that dark place with them demons attacking you, and you be able to shield yourself from it all. My whole message today is that I believe people in the community, especially man, that nobody want to hear their story. Nobody want to hear what they talking about. You know what I mean? Nobody don't care. Do this, go do that. You know what I mean? Nobody's really digging deeper into the conversation of why the young man in the community killing themselves, selling drugs, doing all these negative things. It's because nobody's willing to hear the voice of these people. They ain't willing to hear that shit. They don't care. But me personally, man, I feel like the only way you heal as a man, as a person, right, is by having communications, you know what I mean, with the right people. You know what I mean? Holding that stuff in for years and years ain't gonna do nothing but bring more trauma and pain. And that's if you ever even get the opportunity to live through it. You know what I mean? Because the devil will drift you away into a real dark place. I've been there several times in my life. And I always say, damn, I thank God for the trays and the arms, because they gave me an energy that I didn't have at the time. And if they wasn't around, I don't see myself even being here, pouring into me good conversations and changing my mindset of, man, I don't want to be here no more. Thought about that a lot when I'm in my younger days. I was like, man, forget life, man. I don't want to deal with this no more, man. It's just time to go. You know what I mean? Because you didn't feel accepted, you didn't feel understood, and you just was lost, and nobody could connect to the pain that you felt from the environment. Dealing with bad relationships where you're trying to communicate with a person and they don't know how to effectively communicate back. So they continue to do more negative damage to you because they're not willing to be an adult and have those conversations, because society told them this is the way to do it, and this is to do it in the most fucked up and messed up way we could possibly do it. You know what I mean? I've seen that so many times. I be like, damn, I just wish some people had better hearts, but we can't change everybody. You know what I mean? They got to be willing to change themselves. And like I say, man, when I reach out, when I do those type of things, I always do it in a concept of positivity. You know what I mean? Because I understand the pain that everybody going through, because I've been through it so much in my life, so many times, from being homeless to foster care, just going through that psychologically, and then feeling like not being appreciated in the environment or the community. And it destroyed me as a person. And I just thank God that I had those family members that poured into me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All my family, the Janices, the Trey, the Aunt, everybody that poured into me those good concepts and those good messages, because I know if they wasn't around, I don't believe I would still be here. You know what I mean? The way I was thinking in that time period, I know for sure I wouldn't be here, because I was already there mentally. And for them to make the landscape feel like this is life, bro, this happened, this and that, it's not, you know what I'm saying? They had those conversations where it healed my mind enough that I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm bigger and better than the things that's attacking me. You know what I mean? I'm bigger and better than the things that are attacking me. And I'm not going to allow those things to break me. I'm going to continue to move in the positive concept, following my purpose. And that's what I did, man. I always thank all those people that were being a part of my life and pouring those good things into me, because I say, man, I wouldn't be here today, man. But I see a lot of people dealing with that. You know what I mean? I remember a young man was saying this to me one time. He was like, he didn't want to live and nobody like him and this and that. And like, you know what I mean? He was a little chubby and this and that. The girls don't this and that. Yeah, I mean, the people around him tore him down to a point that he didn't even love himself anymore. And I was at that same place, you know what I mean? So I understand it, man. We got to learn how to heal. We got to learn how to come together. And we got to learn how to be a true brotherhood where we actually listen and actually build together and not tear each other down. It's so easy to shoot and kill your own brother, but it's a blessing to be able to go to your brother and heal them, you know what I mean, when they're going through their pains and tribulations, you know what I mean? But I just think that was a deep thing I had to say today, man. The mindset of men in the community. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes you can't be afraid to be able to have those conversations, because those conversations, just having it, that person might got the key to what you need. You know what I mean? Not to be afraid, to, you know what I mean, to be with your brother. And your brother shouldn't stab you in the back. It should have your back, you know what I'm saying? It should be a good communication and good connection. You know what I mean? But that's all I got to say about that. But love y'all. Peace. Thank you for all the good people out there. Shout out to my city, Norfolk Virginia, man. Tyler Pop, what up? Love everybody out there, man. The mindset of man in the community, bro. We definitely got to change that concept. I'm out.